Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to some more dark and darker content. What has been going on with this game? I've not played in a little while, and I came back to an abundance of strange patches, flip changes. It seems like it's been a bit of a roller coaster for dark and darker players over the past couple of weeks. And yeah, after reading things, I thought to myself, even more than before, loot runs on Rogue are probably going to be kind of the new meta. Like, I know a lot of people used to have a Rogue alt character to sometimes go on little loot runs for, and then you transfer the loot to your other characters and stuff. But even more so now than before, and if Iron Mace actually decide to stick with these loot changes that they made, where, you know, if you open lion's head chests or golden chests, they're going to contain a lot more loot. It's definitely going to be worthwhile actually having a rogue alt like this for loot runs. Now I'm using just a default newly created rogue. All you need is lockpick mastery, and right here you can see I'm using sneak and the smoke bomb as well, just to allow us to kind of evade people and dodge fights as necessary. But yeah, it's a great way to make a lot of money and also get a lot of rare items. Let's see what we get in our first golden chest. A blue cloak, some purple leather leggings, a bunch of trinkets, and some nice boots as well. And you know, you can do loot runs on any class, but as you can see, getting these big chests is what makes the rogue so much better for doing these kind of runs. I would recommend, if you are just looking to fill up your stash, make a bunch of gold, and maybe even transfer some very juicy items across to your other characters, start doing some rogue loot runs. They are very much worthwhile, and they're pretty quick too. You just got to be careful and make sure you're dodging squads as best as you can. But yeah, these changes are, well, you know, I'd say generally I'm a pretty big fan of the changes so far. They obviously did a bit of a flip recently, but I'm glad they have been testing and have stuck with enhanced loot from dungeon chests, because it definitely makes things a whole lot better when it comes to actually having things to do in the dungeon besides just looking for PvP. Because a lot of the time it reached this point where after you've got a decent amount of loot, you would pretty much just go PvP, and there was no incentive to, you know, clear the dungeon, open chests. But now with all of these chests being pretty much stacked, full of potentially good loot, and I think they've even made it so legendaries are showing up in High Roller, which is a pretty crazy change, to be honest. Definitely going to make things a whole lot better and actually enhance the game loop quite a bit more, so pretty stoked for a potential wipe soon, where we actually get to test these changes fully and actually get to see what a fresh wipe is going to be like with this, because I have a feeling it's going to be very healthy for the game and very healthy for pretty much all players of all skill levels. I think a lot of the time we cater a lot to the higher end of the game, and I think this is actually a very healthy change for all players of the game. Lower level players or lower skill players are going to be able to get a lot more loot, be able to contest and fight, as long as they're able to survive the dungeon. And higher level players will just continue to get good loot. But yeah, I don't really see a problem with it, to be honest. Seems really nice. As you can see, they're just clearing out the bats, making them smack each other. We did actually find just a moment ago a very nice blue rondo dagger. Pretty lucky dropping that right there. +1 damage, +1 all that. So, super nice upgrade for us. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. There's actually quite a lot of chests on the crypts that you can loot. So, you know, depending on your spawn, what I like to do on these loot runs now is just rush rooms which have golden chests or lion's head chests. And this room in particular is fantastic because you have this chest in the middle, you have obviously all the bats, you've got a few chests around the room, and then you've got the little trapdoor that takes us underground underneath the pyramid. I'm sure most people know about that, but you know, just in case you don't, it is a very nice spot to loot. I'll show that in just a moment after we finish looting these chests. But yeah, this is going to be definitely a little bit of a fun pastime when the new wipe hits, I think. doing these little loot runs. Obviously right now it's towards the end of the wipe, so loot runs aren't going to be as beneficial as they would at the start of a wipe. But yeah, I'm telling you guys, at the start of next wipe, really think about getting a rogue to do this with, because it can be super nice for filling up the stash of all your characters. Yeah, you put the lever there, drop down, here we have it, we are underneath the pyramid. We have a royal coffin down here. These are amazing for loot. And see, we get a purple falchion with 2 magical damage on it, super nice for a warlock. And for this lion's head, we can just jump behind it. That way nothing can aggro on us. We get a beautiful cloak. A couple of weapons there, we're not going to bother taking those. We also get a green pickaxe. Again, another thing about these rogues, you can mine really fast, right? If you stack resourcefulness. So not only can you do good loot runs, but you can do mining runs at the same time. So, you know, if the circle had landed on me here, I might even clear the room and mine all the ore down here, because there's a lot of ruby, silver and cobalt underneath the pyramid here, so. Just another thing to do on these runs. Mine away. Find a nice blue lantern there too. I think I didn't realise that the lantern's going to go onto my secondary slot, so I dropped those shoes. Create some space when I didn't really need to, but hey, it's all good. Yeah, now that we've looted the whole pyramid, our inventory's honestly pretty much full. Like, look at that, you know, it's been roughly around 5 minutes. We've looted two to 3 rooms now, and we are almost fully stacked with a lot of good loot. We've got 2 capes, a purple falchion, a lot of nice high quality trinkets. And you know what made that possible is the fact that we have the lockpicking mastery on the rogue. Whereas if we're using a different class, we'd only be getting trinkets from the regular chests. And we just have to hope that the lion's heads are unlocked when we find them. So, you know, playing this class enables us to pick up a lot more epic and rare loot than we would be able to otherwise. And that's why I'd recommend using this for loot runs over any other class. And here we do run into a ranger. Being half HP, not wanting to take a fight, we are going to rat our way out of this dungeon. We're going to sit and chill. A lot of the time we don't really want to fight on these runs, so we're going to just avoid combat as much as possible. We're in a pretty dark corner here, so we're just going to sit down and rest. There's a very high possibility we're going to need to tank the circle for a little while and just sit and rest through the damage. Little handy tip if you are playing a little bit more like a rat, or you know, if you're on one of these loot runs, you can sit outside the circle and rest, and it's going to help you a lot. I'm actually hoping that in future updates they kind of patch this a little bit, because it can be a little strong, I think, being able to sit outside the circle for so long. So I think maybe if they make some circle changes to perhaps make it so you don't heal when you're outside the circle, or can't heal, that would definitely encourage a lot more movement around the map. Maybe a little bit more faster paced rotations and stuff. But yeah, it might make things a little bit too quick. I also saw recently there was a player who was saying we should have a Tarkov-like extraction system. And that'd be a little bit interesting. You know, you spawn on one side of the map and you gotta extract on the other side, and there's actually like no zone. Could be kinda cool. Not really sure how exactly that would work. But yeah, it might end up with a lot of rogue campers and ranger campers, you know, trapping the exits and stuff. But yeah, the system they've got just now isn't bad, with the blue portals and the red portals. But I would love to go back to the ruined style, where we have like stairs that take us down deep underground. I have that tiered dungeon system that we had in the Torrent playtest. That was actually quite a lot of fun. But yeah, we got a team that ran past us, wait a little bit, and then we're going to make our move. Hopefully they've pushed away from the edge of the circle here. As you can see, we tanked quite a lot of damage, and thanks to resting outside the circle, we were able to survive and wait out to that team's rotation. Got some red portals here. Look for a blue inside of this room, and looks to be that there is one, so that's super nice for us. we'll pop this open. Now I am a greedy player when it comes to these loot runs, so I am going to look around and see if we can find anything else. And try and fully fill our inventory. Might have some visitors coming around back the way we came. I think they've gone back and gone round the other side, so we're in luck there. Again, on these runs we are not trying to PvP, we're simply trying to extract with rare and very rare epic loot. It looks like we've got a couple of players on the bridge over here. Apparently these throwing knives can't go through the door. Maybe I have to aim down a little bit more. Looks to be just a wizard. And find some nice gloves, extra 2 strength, physical damage reduction 2. Well, again, scoop up as much loot as we can before we leave. Looks like there's a cleric as well. Throw a couple throwing knives, be a bit of a pain. Nah, they're gonna fight us, so we're gonna peace out. That was a bit close, to be honest. chancing our life there. That fireball almost took us out. But yeah, I mean, look at the difference, right? This is the ranger's loot, who's on a loot run. You know, he didn't have much, just a couple of blues. And compare that to what we just picked up as a rogue. And honestly, I wouldn't even say this was a good loot run. This was pretty average. I think you can get a lot more than this if you're able to clear a lot more rooms and get a good circle at the start of the game, and also a good spawn. Yeah, look at that. Bunch of gold. We've got 2 cloaks. We've got a purple falchion. Got some nice upgrades for ourselves. Got some really nice purple leather leggings as well. 3 strength on them. Extra health and extra move speed. And yeah, I'm telling you guys, this is going to be the way when the wipe hits. Get one of these rogues, level them up when the new wipe hits, and start doing these loot runs. It's going to be super nice. You're going to fill up your stash and have a much better time. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace, peace.